Perfect.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back over here to the Black Ocean. And now swimming in deep end with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, you saw the thumbnail. This is something we're going to have to talk about because I caught wind of some new developments regarding several stories that we have been covering regarding the harming of Black children here in America. And it's something that we must consider that there's no other way to put this. We must consider that an act of war when our children are targeted. Those of us who are foundational Black Americans understand this, but tonight's broadcast, I'm going to remind again, our Black immigrant brothers and sisters over here, you're going to have to start seeing that the same way. You cannot allow people to harm your children with impunity. That's not something you look the other way on. Your children are the future of your people. So this is why you see what I have on the screen here. White supremacy is the enemy, and I put it that way for a reason. You see the words are in black, and you see the background is white because we are surrounded in America by white supremacy at all times. You can try to ignore it. You can pretend that's not the case, but over and over and over again, it will show you that that's exactly what the case is. Just because you ignore white supremacy does not mean it ignores you. In fact, you give it power when you ignore it. I have to think back to, and I must say this the way it is, when you think about Morgan Freeman's statement, if you want racism to go away, just stop talking about it. Last time I checked, if you have any type of problem, name me one type of problem in the world that is solved by ignoring it. It either gets worse or it becomes something that's so cancerous and egregious that it consumes you and it could threaten you and take you out, depending on what type of problem that is. Okay, so he was highly mistaken with that. That man is too old to be making statements like he made a few years back there. And unfortunately today, with a lot of people that are off code, whether they're in our lineage as foundational Black Americans, or if they're Black immigrants, they tend to try to adopt that mindset. And I understand why they do it, but you better learn that when your children start being targeted, you better start rethinking some things, because see, children don't ask to be here. And the only protection that they have are the parents. Okay, so if they are not protected by the people that bring them into the world, they have no one at all. You cannot depend on the government to protect your children. You cannot depend on the school system. You better not be depending on this public school system to protect your children or educate them, to be honest with you. You can't depend on anything. Their protection education, and guidance comes from the parents. That is the most important job you will ever have in your life. And it's a shame that those of us that don't have kids are so passionate about it. When you see a lot of the people that do have children, it's as if they're too selfish to even consider taking it into their hands to make sure justice is produced so that their children, one, are not harmed in the first place. But if they are harmed, there should be no amount of money. There should be no religion, no nothing that should be able to stop you from demanding that justice is produced, even if you have to produce it yourself. I said it like I meant it. So tonight's broadcast, we're going to analyze several things. We're going to point some things out. But before we do that, let me take the time to greet everybody that's joining us over here tonight. Let me make sure I scroll up. I see Two Stay Woke in the building. I see Patricia Slade over here. Welcome, good sister. A Goddess Navi, salute to you. Oh, you say, what's the intro song and the one that follows it? There actually are just a couple of instrumentals that I've found. I'm not sure exactly who the composers were. It may be in the description box. I know a lot of times if you put that, if you use intros on here, they will tell you who they are, those that don't have any type of copyright attached to them. So it may be in the description box, good sister. I see my moderator, Patricia Jenkins, over here. Sincerely yours. Welcome back over here, good sister. Captain PY2, welcome, my brother, my comrade in the building, man. Salute to you. Project Leroy on deck as usual. Salute to all of you brothers and sisters over here. Welcome. Let me go ahead and ask a question. I hope that everybody's able to hear me okay. If there's any audio issues, do let me know. PukeTube, yeah, that's another thing I meant to bring up. A couple of things you might want to be reminded of if you just joined us over here. Those of you that have long been subscribed to this channel, you see the type of content that I put out. We will crack a few jokes here or there. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a good time. But for the most part, the bulk of my content is about the education and empowerment of Black people. So therefore, when that's stated, they're going to always mess with this channel, okay? There's not going to ever be a time that they don't mess with this channel. Let me go in and tell you, they're going to unsubscribe you, okay? I've gotten several people that told me they've been unsubscribed more than once, okay? Sometimes when we put out content, we go live, they're going to mess with the stream, especially depending on the subject matter. I figured them out. Depending on what your title is or your thumbnail, they already done got you marked the target. I mean, of course, now, if I was a bit cooning and buffooning, yeah, if I got up here telling y'all ain't no white supremacy, you know, and trying to, you know, promote LGBTQ, and, you know, I got up here and did a fashion show with a bunch of men with dresses on and, you know, had little Nas X on here, crystal clear, wouldn't be no problems. Or they give me 1 million subscribers overnight. Now, let's be clear. I really don't give a damn about subscriber numbers, okay? Don't care about that. What's most important to me is the message that I have to bring to the people, because many of you asked me to cover certain things. So that's what's most important to me, that the message gets out. And this is why we also have the Rumble channel as a backup. We're going to get a lot of things cracking with that. I've been busy doing several different things. You're going to see some different things over here very soon in the next coming couple of months. So there's a lot going on over here, but PukeTube, they can't, one monkey don't stop no show. And PukeTube, if you're listening, you should be messing with the channels of people that are promoting things that harm children on here. But, you know, hey, that's just too much like right. So I hope everybody can hear me okay. I'm looking in the chat. Everybody's saying that they can. So hopefully there's not going to be too many issues with the stream. I checked on my end, everything on the signal as far as like, you know, my internet service is working all right. But hey, that's just what it is, man. But we're going to push on through it. Salute to our brother Superstar J Quick in the building. I see you, player. We're going to push on through it because, see, tonight, I got a couple of updates on some things, like I said, and it's just, for me, I'm not trying to disparage any of our own cold Black immigrant brothers and sisters, but I'm going to show you some things over here where, like I said, when the Asians got together protesting that they're not for Peter Liang not to go to jail, we saw him from coast to coast. I'm going to need you who are on code to push the line on that. I know it's a difficult thing to get your house in order in your community, but you're going to have to try, because we're going to cover it here later tonight. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get started with the broadcast. Like I said, if PukeTube keeps trying to screw with the screen, we'll do whatever we have to get this information out. It's going to get out one way or another. So we're going to go ahead and get started with what we got to review here tonight. And as usual, we will stop it to break certain things down and point certain things out. And before we do, Want to take the chance to put this in the chat room as well. Salute to you, Only Pamela's Way. I see you, good sister. I don't know if many of you know this, but I'm going to drop a link in the chat here. Our sister Lioness Crown has a shop with some gear over there that you might be interested in. I'm going to drop the discount code right below that link. Check that out if you are so inclined. Do spread the word after you take a look at it. Got a lot of good stuff over there you might be interested in. So now that we got this out the way, we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's broadcast. Like I said, if you hadn't already, hit that like button, share it with somebody that you know is interested in knowing what's going on. We don't need goofballs over here. And one last thing to all my moderators, I don't often say it enough, but gently remind people if they come in, because people forget, they make mistakes. We don't jump down their throat. But the reason why I don't have people typing in all caps, I save that for if I need to bring something to the audience attention. And I like for that to stand out in the chat room, okay? Just one of the rules that I have over here. Gently remind them if they do it, don't jump down their throats. Now, if they proceed to disrespect any of my moderators over here, let me tell you, you got carte blanche to bounce their ass up out of here. I mean, you can time them out once, but they get disrespectful towards any of you, automatic block. I don't play that, okay? Because I'm gonna do it if they disrespect me. So I just want you all to know, if I've given you a wrench over here, you will do the same respect, okay? So now that that's it, now we're gonna finally go ahead and get into tonight's broadcast. Let's begin.
A school principal calls the cops, refers to the children as ghettos, Section 8, and everything else.
We didn't even do nothing, so we're recording you right now. That that's harassment, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely
it's harassment. You're a grown-ass man. We're minors, though.
Actually, I'm the board director here.
We're minors.
So, I don't
We're
care.
minors.
Officer,
So
you
how
got
you
three
like it in
girls
your
here.
face?
3 Section 8
How you
people
like
here.
it in your face?
Ghetto girls.
How you like it in your face?
Hey, look at this.
No, you're grown. Like, this is a grown man, right?
Yep.
You're
Here
grown.
you go, right here.
You're grown, so I'm recording you too.
Look at this, right here.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's put the picture up full mass. We are going to highlight this directly. You're looking at Brijanne Lewis on the left, Kyra Scrub on the right. They say they were racially profiled in a gated community in Fresno, California. Let me give you the background. A white male in Fresno reportedly called 911 after a verbal confrontation with 3 teenage black girls inside a gated community. That's according to ABC 7 News. Okay. Fred V. Nandal, a principal at Sunnyside High School in Fresno, said he was calling the police on April 16th following the confrontation. 17-year-old Kyra Scrub, 17-year-old Brijanne Lewis, and a friend as they cut through the neighborhood on their way to the store. The girls began recording the principal as he made a phone call, and one of the teens is heard saying that he was harassing them. We didn't even do nothing. So we recording you right now. That's harassment, right? After the principal responded by saying, no, it's not. He is heard calling the 3 teenagers ghetto. Officers, you got 3 girls here, he said. 3 Section 8 people here, ghetto girls. The principal also held up his phone as if he was also recording the 3 teenagers. Let me stop right here.
Now, I'm going to pause right here also and salute to our good brother, Dr. Rashard Ritchie. This brother does amazing journalistic work. I love the work that he does. I salute to that good brother right there, man. I catch a lot of good stories by checking out some of his content. But let me take the time to point something out, because you saw what happened to those young ladies right there, okay? Our brothers and sisters over there in Cali, they are no strangers to racism and white supremacy. But let me tell you how I would have had or instructed my daughters to handle that particular situation if I had daughters. See, if you're a black father, you should teach this to all your children, especially your little girls. First and foremost, that is a coward, a punk ass white supremacist adjacent coward, because he doesn't look to be completely white. Whatever the hell he is, he's still a coward, though, practicing white supremacy and anti-black racism against 2 children over there in their neighborhood where they belong, walking, minding their own business. This is how you instruct your children to handle that, particularly your girls, when it comes to dealing with white supremacist males. First thing I would teach my daughters is this. You don't go back and forth with no man. Nope. What you do, you call daddy. That's what you do. At this point, don't argue. Nope. As long as he's not touching you. But see, I'm going to tell you right now, if I had some teenage daughters, they wouldn't leave the house without some mace. Let me tell you something right now. Combination CS, tear gas, OC spray. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make sure mine are protected out there even when they're not in my sight. Okay. That's at the bare minimum. But now dealing with the situation as we see here, like I said, the first person you call is daddy. And see, this is why it's so important for us to form families where you in the household. Okay. Yes, that's difficult today. That can be a challenge. Nonetheless, you need to tell them you call dad. He want to have a conversation with somebody. You need to talk to another black man. That's what you need to do. Okay. And that, see, situations like this, brothers, those are not situations where we have our women taking lead on that, because see, this is how I feel about it. You that big of a punk where you want to harass little girls. Let's see if you got that same energy when a grown man step to you. Because see, I would have told my daughters, nope, don't say nothing to him. Call daddy, back to business. Go ahead and do that by video call so I can see what we got to work with when I get there. Then you come back where I'm at. And if that motherfucker's stupid enough to follow you back to the house, well, yeah, we'll take care of that real quick. But see, you have to instruct your little girls how to think, because see, again, I don't want nobody to think that I'm punching down any of you feminist-minded fools that come over here, listen to this live recorded. Close your mouth and listen to what a black man is telling you. You particularly have to train our little black girls, children in general, but little black girls, because that's what we're looking at here. Your power isn't in going back and forth. You a child, and that's a white supremacist male. You get to argue with him. He's already a coward. He decided to get physical. You see what I'm saying? You need to teach them. Nope. Nothing you say is helping you at that point. They didn't do nothing wrong. We got that part. But you got to train your children, especially little girls. No, all that. No. That's a dangerous coward, because see, the first thing you got to make sure they understand, if this motherfucker is stepping to teenage girls that hadn't done nothing to him, don't look like they threatening nobody, not committing a crime, this is a dangerous coward looking for any excuse to harm you. See, this is why, unfortunately, when things happen, like with the young brother Ralph Yarl, and we're going to be covering some things on that here tonight, you have to talk to your teenage children about what's going on. You can't just be like, well, you know, I ain't going to say nothing about it. No. You can't afford to do that in America today, anywhere in this country. Okay? So that's the first couple of things I want to get out of the way. Number two, see, let me tell you how I go down here in the South. Okay? Had I instructed my daughters to call daddy, once daddy get ready to respond to it, I'm not going to come by myself. Since that's what we planned. See, let me tell you why. Not that I'm not capable of handling it by myself. Today, what we need when it comes to our children being threatened in these schools and outside in their neighborhoods, mind their own business by these damn white supremacists, black men must show up and make a show of force. Be like, okay, you bothered his child today. It could be mine tomorrow. See, this is what I mean about silent brotherhood, loud results. You've heard me say that many times over here. We got to start looking at our brothers' children as our children. Sure, they're not biologically ours, but they're a part of our tribe, our village, okay? We have to support each other when it comes to backing each other up and making sure that our black children are safe and they're not harmed by anybody. Because see, when it comes time to doing that, when it comes down to a white supremacist doing that, rather, let's look at a couple of things. Had this been, and I got to go here, I don't give a damn how mad white folks get, not really talking to y'all anyway, I'm talking to black folks, just go ahead and get that out of the way because sometimes they wander over here. When it comes to the situation, let's flip it. Had that been some little white girls and a black man came up and started harassing them, see, they already trained what to do. Not only would they go ahead and call white supremacist males to come deal with that, they would have been crying rape and sexual assault and all kind of stuff. See, you don't think they've trained their children on what to do in case they are harassed by us? Now, for the most part, most black men were walking around since, like we say down here in the South, would not even be seeking to do nothing to nobody's child, no matter what color they are. That's not how most of our people are built, okay? But see, I'm flipping it around for a reason, because it's important for you to understand that the other side, they take it seriously when something happens to white children. You understand me? See, like, how we handle that down here, you would have been scared to try that. If that was your first time, you would have been too afraid to try it again by the time we'd finished with that. You would have known that, listen, they live over here and they can walk anywhere they damn well please. And the next time you step to them, see, I'm going to tell you what I would have told them as a man had I confronted them face to face. I'd be like, listen, I'm going to tell you one time. If my daughters are not doing nothing to you, I don't want you having no contact with them. Now, he can run off at the mouth with him, but I would go ahead and let him know. I'd be like, listen now, you talking, but I done told you what I expect. Now, the next time they inform me about you approaching them any kind of way, I'm going to take it as you threatening my children, okay? And I'm going to neutralize that damn threat by any means necessary. Now, he could run his mouth, whatever. He want to get froggy, we'll handle that too, okay? Hey, frog legs. Yeah, everybody know what you do to frog legs, okay? It's a bunch of different ways you can press a frog legs, but I digress on that. All I'm saying is when it comes to making that type of statement about your offspring and making sure they're protected, people need to understand that if you go here, you've crossed the line that you're not going to come back from, okay? See, somebody got to say that like it is when it comes to these black children being harassed and threatened, because, see, the thing about these white supremacists, and I want my black immigrant brothers and sisters to listen up, those of you that are in new black media space, you already understand what I'm about to say, but I'm saying it now because this is the message that those of you who are not FBI are going to have to push to your community, okay? When it comes to white supremacists starting out trying to harass you, they start out with verbal harassment, okay? That's how it starts at first, verbal harassment. Then they take it a step further. Like, okay, nothing got done about my verbal harassments, my racial slurs and all that. Okay, we got one. First, they're looking at, okay, you probably don't have no fathers. And I'm not saying that these little girls don't, but I'm just telling you how these sick bastards think, okay? So bear with me. They're looking at everything. You sisters out here that's by yourself, I want you to understand what I'm saying. I'm not punching down on you. I need you to understand what I'm saying, okay? So please listen. They look at you. They say, okay, a woman with no kids, soft target, probably been watching because that's how sick they are. When the little girls come out here, I know their dad ain't know them. I'm going to go ahead and harass them. Oh, nothing didn't happen. She ain't got no uncles neither. Oh, okay, cool. I got a soft target. Next time, I'm going to go ahead and put my hands on them. You see what I'm saying? See, I know to ordinary people, those of us with morality and decency, this is sick. It's demonic. I have never looked at anybody's child and wished to do any type of harm to them or whatsoever, especially they're not doing or harming anybody. A normal person's mind doesn't even operate that way towards children of any race, okay? But see, we're not dealing with humanity or decency. These people are demons in pale flesh. That's exactly what they are. That's why I named the broadcast what I did, okay? You can't expect to reason with them. They don't have any compassion. See, when you start seeing all these people, when something's done to a black child, they get together, they want to sing and talk about praying and all this other stuff. Here's the question I'm asking you. I'm like, who you trying to appeal to? Do you understand what you're dealing with? It would be different if you was dealing with another human being that had a sane, logical mind, that had some type of attachment to life and humanity, but they don't. So you wasting your time trying to appeal to them. See, let me tell you what happens. See, this scared the shit out of a lot of people, but I got to see it like it is. What ends up happening when you try to appeal to white supremacists' humanity, which they do not have, that's basically just like feeding a hungry dog, man. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, you coming at me with all this religious stuff and all this compassion. They really finna go in on you now because they know that, okay, this is all the retaliation they're going to get. I'm not denigrating anybody's faith, but what I am telling you, I'm going to say it in no uncertain terms. When people threaten your family, especially your children, there must be a loud, resounding response to that, to let them motherfuckers know that you just crossed the line that you shouldn't have, okay? So just wanted to get that part out of the way. I want y'all to listen to the rest of what the brother Dr. Rashard Rich is going to explain about what happened here, because I'm going to tell you, when I first saw this, man, that pissed me off so bad. Brothers, you ever see something And you be thinking, I wish I would have been there when he was doing that. Oh my God, let me see, because you know how they get when we come around. They're a bunch of cowards. They don't really approach black men unless they in numbers or unless they got a weapon on them. But see that shit right there, I'd have seen him, man. If I was living over there in that neighborhood, you know, even if I didn't have an association with her parents or whatever, first thing that come to my mind when we were raised down in the South is, hey man, them two black children would have put hey, y'all little sisters, y'all good? You straight? Is it a problem over here? And I would have looked at him. Is it a problem? Do you need to talk to somebody? You see what I'm saying? That's how we got to start looking at these things, family. Okay? So I'm going to just hold my peace on what I think, because you can tell this pisses me off. I want y'all to listen to the rest of what the brother, Dr. Rashard Ritchie, has to report on here.
It's one thing to call law enforcement because you think somebody is a nuisance. Okay? Remember, you're inviting a gun to a situation where a gun is not required. It's already extreme. And then in the process of you doing this, you decide to refer to children as Section 8 and ghetto, which, by the way, informs us of your bias, informs the world. You are in a position of ultimate public trust as a principal, you are to govern the administrative processes of these children or children at large. I have more information, more background. This high school principal is also heard telling the teens that he is on the Gated Communities Board of Directors. Kyra's mom told the outlet that her daughter and her friends, they take a shortcut through the gated community because it cuts 10 minutes off their walk to the store. She added that the teens have access because they have a friend living in the gated community. Kyra told the outlet that the principal was being racist for no reason. You didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to racial profile for no reason, she said. I feel so bad because, like, as a black woman, I should be able to walk, and just walk peacefully without, people being racist for no reason.
Now, family, you heard the statement that the brother Rashard Ritchie read there that one of the young sisters made. See, I have to struggle to keep my composure when I report stories like this, because just listening to that black child say this, you can tell she's innocent. And when I say innocent, I'm talking about innocent in the sense that she doesn't understand why someone would do that to her. Do you know how much that infuriates me? Because, see, Dr. John Henry Clark said it best. He said, one of our greatest strengths and weaknesses is our beautiful humanity. This is a young black child who probably don't think nothing towards nobody in a racial way, because most of us don't. We wasn't raised like that in most of our household. We were warned what to look out for, but we wouldn't taught to mistreat no damn body. So now you hear the sister making the statement right here. This lets you know that, man, she really was confused, because, like, they probably taking that shortcut a couple of times or whatever, you know what I'm saying? No problems. And then this asshole, this anti-black racist piece of shit and coward that he is, comes out of nowhere and start harassing them. See, let me go ahead and address the other side of this too, because I'm not sure if the friends that they were speaking of are white people. But if they are white folks, let me talk to you, since y'all always got your nose in our business, because I know y'all listening. Let me talk to you. If you know that this is going on in your community, then you're supposed to stand by the black people in that and speak up and oppose that. See, he shouldn't be a principal at no school. He damn sure shouldn't be on any type of committee in that community. And see, this will lead me to ask questions about, I know if it's that type of community, what type of homeowners association is that? But see, did these white supremacists, they're in every level and system of government in this country, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a bunch of white supremacists on that too. But see, if you're a white person, these are the things that black people are talking about. You say you want to be an ally, okay. Good white folks, because everybody know that we all hear that term, the good white folks, we ain't all the same. Okay, what's going to be the consequence for this guy if in your neighborhood and you found out about this story? What are you prepared to do, white folks? Are you cool anti-black racists living amongst you? Because see, if you are good white folks, like you say, then that means that anybody's child that you see is just a child. You're not looking at their skin color. As long as they haven't harmed anybody, all you should see is a child, right? Okay. What they love to tell us, they don't see skin color. Okay. Well, if you truly don't, then those should just be regular children, just like anybody walking through there. Unless they've done something to cause harm to property or somebody in the community, what are you harassing them for? So that's what I want to put out to the good white folks, air quotes. If you're a good white folk, we need to see you raise some hell about this. Yeah, do what you do when you get on black folks if you really are against this. But see, I hadn't heard of nothing like that taking place. If I do find out about it, I will let you all know. But family, this is why I say again, the brothers, you got to do what you can to make sure you're in your children's lives. I understand everybody doesn't have a perfect family situation, so let me address that part. Even if you're not in your child's household, your daughter should know, hey, somebody threaten you like that, you call dad. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I will come from one end of the planet to the other, goddamn it. If you threaten my kids, if I had any, I don't play that shit. Nobody in my family played them games. See, if you look, let me tell you something. Right down to the old men in my family, they would bust your ass if they found out you was messing with their grandbabies, okay? I'll tell you that right now. Grandparents on both sides of my family, they didn't play that shit. See, we're in a time now, my brothers, and I'm speaking to all of you. I hope that you understand that black manhood is about to be tested more than it's ever been in this country. Because, see, when they start threatening our children, that's basically they're looking directly at us saying, yeah, I can do this to your kids because your men ain't shit. You ain't gonna do nothing. What you gonna do to stop me, nigga? And that's how the white supremacists think. I'm gonna tell you something. As a collective, we better have an answer for that, okay? We better have an answer for that, because if not, family, we already seen what happens in history when people do not defend their children. That means that that society is close to extinction because they have no future at all. I'm gonna let the rest of this play. Dr. Richie is gonna bring up some more interesting things, and he's going to have colleague here speaking on this. I want you to listen to this conversation they're about to have.
And she is absolutely correct. He's an adult. He's an adult who decided to show his racism because he did not like something. He was uncomfortable with black children walking, not bothering him, not doing anything against him or his property, just walking. There's more. Why would you even say some stuff like that? We're minors, added Regine. I hope he gets fired. He got to go. The girl said that the police never showed up, and it's unclear if the principal actually called the authorities. The teens learned that the principal was at a high school after posting the video on TikTok. So they had no idea who this guy was until they exposed him, right? There's more. Fresno Unified, there it is, said they are investigating the incident. Quote, we are aware of the video circulating, and the district started an investigation into the matter early Monday. The labels used in the video do not align with the high standards we have for our Fresno Unified leaders and staff. Read the statement. We want to assure our families that having respectful, inclusive, and loving adults serving in our school is of the utmost importance to Sunnyside and our district as a whole. The principal is currently on paid administrative leave while the school district investigates. That's according to the spokesperson, Nikki Henry. So these young children, these black girls, called for the firing of this principal. I think they are being appropriate in their request. And I will say, young ladies, I do believe you will get the request you have proclaimed. Okay? Once again, position of public trust, high public trust. There's a high bar, high standard that must be recognized and applied. We do not play with our children and their safety. If a principal has these deeply rooted beliefs, just by calling the police or allegedly calling the police on black teenage girls, imagine what he believes and how he treats children that may not look like him or his children.
Absolutely correct, Dr. Richard Ritchie. And see, this is why those of us in New Black Media keep preaching and beating the drum that if you're able, and you know what? I ain't gonna even just say if you're able. As Black folks, we find money to do whatever we want to do. If you got your babies in these public schools, man, do what you got to do to get them out. I don't care if it's homeschooling or you have to look and find another Afrocentric school or whatever to send them to school so that they can get their education in peace. You do what you need to do. That's for their future, okay? See, think about it this way. And again, I'm someone that doesn't have children, but I love our children, okay? And I said our because they're a part of our tribe. I will not stop saying that. That is the truth. That's how white society looks at their children, okay? Our oppressor class, they view their children as sacred. They're not going to let you do nothing to no white child in their neighborhood, period, okay? So now, when it comes to how our children are treated, like the brother Dr. Rashard Ritchie was saying, if you got a person in his position around children, psychotic demon that he is, you know he harbors those feelings towards other little Black children. Section 8 people. Oh, yeah. See, I wouldn't be surprised because I think he already tried to hide his social media. You know, that's the first thing they try to do because they know we're going to be on their ass in the grassroots. And look, let me tell you something, family. Any story that I report to you on with things like this, I don't always catch everything. If you find something on anything that I report, send it to me because you know I'm going to put it on the damn Summer Jam screen. We can't let these motherfuckers hide when they do this type of stuff, especially to our children. No, everybody need to know who you are. We need to know where you live. Like I said, at school and everything. And see, let me tell you what I would like to see. Over there, if I was over there, what I would be trying to do, I'd be like, hey, man, we need at least 300, 400, 500 Black men to show up to that school. Like, nah, we demanding that you fire this motherfucker. At the business, you shouldn't be able to go to no other school. I mean, this is the time where you go to your city council meetings, talk to your state representative, like, no, you if you get caught doing something like this, whether you in the school system, law enforcement, whatever, you got to be stripped of your credentials to ever go back into that field again. See, these are the things that we have to start organizing and pushing for, okay? We can't just get out there and be angry about it, channel that anger into action. See, we can do it too. I'm not trying to hear what we can't do. We can do any damn thing we put our minds to, okay? And see, you got to understand that it's very important for the next generation of children to see that when you threaten, your men gonna go to bat for you first. And our sisters will be on board with that, okay? But we must lead the charge on that, okay? We have to. We have to. Because see, this type of crap right here, if you let it slide, that just emboldens them. And then next thing you know, you'll have more of them doing the same thing and coming to the neighborhoods where the kids are at to harass them. See, you got to understand when you study the history of racism and white supremacy in this country, they don't stop until they are stopped. I'm going to say it again. They do not stop until you stop them. They have to be stopped, okay? It's not anything that we can ignore. And see, these are the times that are going to test the people amongst us and the warrior class who should stand up and oppose this shit. The people that's trying to look the other way on things, those are the cowards amongst us. See, I'm glad we're in this time period today. I don't like to see our people dealing with this, especially our children, but I am glad we're in a time now where everybody is going to be clear where we stand. You're not going to be able to hide or straddle no fence. Either you all the way against white supremacy or you going to bow down to it and go back to picking the cotton like many of us say over here in New Black Media, okay? So I want y'all to get ready to listen to this conversation that's coming up, though, because it's going to be some very interesting things brought out in this conversation.
All right. David, thoughts on this?
Well, I was glad that the school district put out that statement saying that he has been on administrative leave, but there was something about that statement that also bothered me. They said it was his labels that were the problem. It wasn't just his labels. It was his action. It was his racist beliefs that were so evident. To have an educator who's got that is so frustrating. And the other thing about it is I can remember somebody else who used to cut through the backyard of a really nice house on the way to elementary school 40 some years ago. That was me. And you know what? My house wasn't as nice as the street that I was cutting through. I suppose if somebody had complained to me, sure, I would have changed my route. But you would expect that if somebody is angry that somebody is using your neighborhood as a cut through, you approach them and you have the decency and respect to that person to say, look, I'd rather you not cut through here or stay on this, whatever it is, but to just sort of fly off the handle and to then call police and then to use, show your sort of racism is outrageous. I hope that principal, vice principal, whatever he is, I hope he never gets another job in teaching again.
There you go.
So I'm going to pause right there, okay? So now you heard what this guy right here was saying, but see, Let me talk to the so-called wannabe white allies, those of you that actually have good intentions, because you know how I feel about the ally thing, but I'm making this statement. For the ones that claim they want to be allies, great. He's reporting on that. He called it like he saw it, but see, this is what we need from you, those who claim that you would be allies to black people. You need to say, I don't. You shouldn't be saying, I hope he doesn't get him. Like, no, we need to take action to make sure he doesn't get another teaching job anywhere near anybody's children. Okay? That's what we need to hear. All right? And then on top of that, we also need to hear those of you in white society who claim you would be allies to black people. We need to make sure that you run his name through the media and talk about him like y'all talk about black people that are just accused of things, because see, we saw what he did. Guilty. Okay, you harass them girls for no reason, unless some evidence comes out showing that they were a threat to somebody, and it's not, because they wouldn't. Then, okay, this is a low-life, despicable, white supremacist piece of shit. And anytime that you start harassing children, elderly people, handicapped folks, your name should be made an international pariah, okay? I mean, that motherfucker should be looked at as a pedophile. I'm going to go there with it. That's the way I feel we need to have our mindsets when it comes to these white supremacists that target children. Oh, yeah, you right there with pedophiles to me. We're going to put your name out there like that. So what I'm saying is, white folks, get your people. You better get them now, because, see, I'm going to tell you, there's a group of us here across this country nationwide. You're not going to be able to do nothing to our children, and then the only thing you expect us to do is call Ben Crump or Lee Merritt. Oh, no. It's going to be far too late for that. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not going to do for some of us, okay? Some of us that have children actually love them. Those of us that don't have them, we still see it as our responsibility, if you have my type of mindset, to protect black children. The reason why I feel so strongly about that, because I grew up in a family where I was very well protected as a child, okay? And then I was taught by my father and grandfathers that one day you will be the protector. You see what I'm saying? So you pass the mindset of being a protector on through generations. And it takes strong black men to do that have a backbone, integrity, and principles to teach, especially young black men, that one day it's going to be your turn to protect when I'm not here or I'm too old to do so. You see what I'm saying? See, these are the things that I like to make sure I say on my channel, because I don't like to mince words, especially when it comes to something this serious, okay? So again, kudos to the white guy for reporting on it, but see, I understand why that passion isn't there, because it's not his children. It's not the children of his community, okay? So see, if you're going to be in this fight with us, white folks, the same passion that we have, that's what we need your support on. You're going to have to exhibit that, because see, you all know where the white supremacists are. You see what I'm saying? If you claim that you're not like that, and you know they living in your neighborhood, we need to know who they are. Let us know. Let us know. We need to know where they're at in every profession, every one of them, out their asses. We need that information. That's what producing justice looks like if you claim to be an ally. But I want to let this report continue.
Every child, including when we were children, we cut through communities or sometimes a parking lot, whatever it may be. We wanted to shorten the route. We walked everywhere.
In my heart,
And the good sister, a little country lamb, brought up a good point. I'm so glad you made that statement in the chat room, sister. The sister says white people don't ever do enough speaking up about our issues, she means, but want to feel comfortable around us and be in our spaces. And she's absolutely right. And I'm so glad she said that, because see, family, this is another thing too. When they come around, they like the music, they like the dancing, they want to be around us, and black people this, that. I've got black friends. Okay, cool. You can't just be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You want to be around black people that much? Okay, then our issues are your issues. You love black people so much, right? See, she brought up a good point. We're going to have to start pressing these folks like that, man. Yeah, that's right. And see, that's going to really show you who really does love black people then. Oh, yeah. Because see, all of a sudden, you start talking like that. Like, yeah, what do you think about these little black babies being harassed? Hey, guys, look at the time. Gotta go. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so I'm thank you for bringing that up, sis. That was a very good point you made. So now, the next thing I want to show you, this happened a while back. But I put this in here to reiterate the point that I'm making about what these white supremacists in these goddamn school settings. I want y'all to listen to this. It's going to refresh your memory in case you hadn't seen it for the first time. This is going to infuriate you like it did me. But we have to show these people over here in New Black Media how serious this is. These little black children are helpless without us in these damn public food systems, as I call them. These white supremacists, that's how you know they're cowards and they're the most demonic things there are, because they're not just targeting the adults. These grown motherfuckers who hate black people so much, they going after our babies, man. You understand? I want y'all to watch this clip right here, and then we're going to break some things down about this.
Ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Wait, no, let me finish.
Hey, look. So, white is better than all.
No, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I think everybody thinks that. They're just not honest about it.
Hey, I'm not racist, though. I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only think that.
Wait, so you said you are what? You are racist?
You're saying you're like...
I think everybody's a racist at that level.
No, you said you...
I'm going to pause it right there. Now, you see this bastard. This is a teacher in a school with children. Heard the statement he made, all right? Then he comes back, because this is how sick they are. They really do believe this. I think everybody's a little bit racist. No, you fucking demon. Everybody doesn't think like you. The only reason you hear black people talking about white supremacy is because it's a threat to our very lives. If you people weren't threatening our lives, we wouldn't be talking about that. If you people would go ahead and do the right thing and get these reparations paid out to our people, you gonna do it. Or you gonna be begging to do it sooner or later. Because see, what's happening to you is beyond our control, whether you believe in God or not. He is active. It's gonna come a time, family. Mark my words, they're gonna be begging to pay them reparations. They better go ahead and get started, because the longer they wait, the worse it's gonna be. But I digress on that. Dealing with this situation right here, they actually do think that. See, I've heard many of them make this type of statements. They think, oh, well, we all a little bit racist. No. Now, all of us can be prejudiced. Some of us can be bigoted. Sometimes prejudice or bigotry could be justified depending on the situation. I'm going to explain what I mean. Common sense would tell you that if a certain area or a certain group of people is into certain types of activity, then of course you will be wary around those people. The problem is when it comes to these anti-black racists and white supremacists, they equate all black people with criminality and whatever is bad. But see, here's the ironic thing about them doing that. Why they so busy looking at black people, the worst criminals and murderers, rapists, and thieves are right there in their own communities. They look just like them, but they too busy looking at black people saying everything is wrong with us. So now you take a demon like this that come in this classroom with his poison ideology, talking about everybody's a little bit racist. Okay, see, I hope that you teach your black children that when they come home from school, they need to debrief you about everything that happened during that school day. And you need to let them know how to handle certain things and make sure you're on top of your game as far as going down there. If you're going to have your kid in public school, you need to make sure that they know your face. You'll be like, hey, listen, this one right here has a parent. You fuck with this one, you going to see my face. Oh, yeah, you going to smell my cologne like Pimp C used to say. I'm going to be on your ass if you mess with this one. This mine, okay? And see, you should encourage other black children. And this is very important. When they out of school, the parents of the neighborhood should get together and be like, hey, listen, something happened to your buddy over here. Y'all tell us. Let me know. If it's something that's going on with one black child and he too scared to tell you, come tell me. Don't let that be a secret, because, see, these demonic motherfuckers will threaten these children that if you say this or that, you're going to be in trouble. No. You tell them to always tell you what's going on, okay? See, this is why you have to love your children enough to raise them. You can't just put them here. Raising them means instilling everything that I'm saying into those children and making sure that you are fully on your job when it comes to protecting them in these damn anti-black school systems right here. Because, see, it's a bunch of him. He just won. I'm going to let the rest of this continue, though.
You are racist.
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to be honest. No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're racist.
I think I should like tell you to stop speaking.
Put your phone up.
I actually respected you for a while, but like
I'm putting
now,
your phone up.
don't even got no more respect for you.
Clear it up.
Yeah, for real. I don't think I got respect for him no more, bro.
You know, you should have more respect because I'm.
Now, you saw that, right? You saw that. See, this is what these little black children are up against in these schools. So I'm going to read you something. We're going to throw a little bit of history in here. And as you're looking on the screen here, you see this is Frederick Douglass. I want to read you something. The meaning of the 4th of July for the Negro. A speech given in Rochester, New York, July 5th, 1852. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham. Your boasted liberty and unholy license, your national greatness, swelling vanity, your sound of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass, fronted impudence, your shout of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers and your hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy, a thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages. This is not a nation on the earth of guilty practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of the United States at this very hour. I included that in this broadcast for a reason. Because as you see, this speech was given by Frederick Douglass in July the 5th, 1852. Now I'm going to ask the question. Here we sit, April 25th, 2023. Question that I'm going to ask you, family. Everything that Frederick Douglass said in that speech, would it be far-fetched to say that it still applies today? I just want anybody to correct me if I'm wrong, if I would be wrong to say this is the way it is to this day. A country in which we fought in every single war, regardless of whether we had equal rights or not, thought of as 3/5 of a human being. A country where after we come back from serving our countries, they would lynch us in military uniform. A country where in the beginning, if you were a soldier, you could not get the Montgomery GI Bill. A country where no matter what you do, you work twice as hard just to be half as good, be the most law-abiding citizen ever, and you still don't have the respect of your so-called fellow countrymen because you are black. Family? If Frederick Douglass could see what was going on today, what do you think his mindset would be? Sometimes you have to stop and reflect on these types of things in history because, see, the reason why I'm bringing this up is when these damn buck dancing sambos like Daniel Cameron, Tim Scott, Candace Owens, Clarence Thomas, and I could keep naming forever until my throat runs dry. When these motherfuckers stand up here in their abject cowardice, whether they're of our lineage or not, and try to tell you that ain't no racism and white supremacy is exaggerated, you think about this speech that Frederick Douglass gave back then, and then you look at modern day America, and then you look at the things that we're about to show you here tonight with these children. We're going to have to tighten up on this because, see, we can't allow this, family. I took the time to show you that, and I hope that you remember this and go back and do your research on this, okay? Because everything that I present to you over here, you can look it up on your own. And let those words resonate with a part of your spirit if you have a backbone and you're a black person that actually care about our children and our society, okay? It's time. None of us can do everything on our own, okay? That's not what I'm implying or saying. But all of us can do something to combat this bullshit wherever we are. And this is why we try to link up with like minds that are on code so that we can protect the next generation of our people. Because, see, we should not have to hand this fight on to them. If we focused on this the same way that a lot of us, not saying all, but a lot of us would focus on entertainment, the way a lot of us will focus on things that are inconsequential in nature. And if you really want to be frank about it, mere distractions to keep us from dealing with the plight of our situation in America. And I posit to you this, if nothing else can't wake us up. It should be the cries of our children being threatened by these demonic white supremacists, okay? I'm going to play the rest of this. It's some other things that I want to bring to your attention about another story in the media. Brace yourself for this, because when I saw this, I couldn't believe this. This is absolutely incredible.
Andrew Lester, the bigoted elderly white male who tried to kill a 16-year-old child, makes his appearance in court. Let's go to that.
Andrew Lester, 84 years old, walking into the courtroom after coming into the courthouse through a private secured entrance, walking in with a cane, walking in slowly, basically sitting first in the jury box before proceedings started. Once they did, he and his defense attorney, who did not state his name for the record, but we're working to find it, walked right up to the judge's bench. Lester speaking softly, so it may have been so the two of them could hear each other. Again, kind of the big headlines from this, he pleaded not guilty in this shooting, faced with multiple felony counts for the Thursday shooting of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl. He also was told by the judge of certain conditions of his bond. Among them, he has to report within 24 hours to a bond supervision company. They'll visit once every month at least. After that, he has to turn over any weapons that he has to police. He cannot have a concealed carry permit. He said he does have one, so he'll turn that over as well. And then finally, and of course we expected this, he can have no contact with Ralph Yarl and his family. His attorney saying they will work with authorities immediately to make sure all of those procedures are followed.
Let's put the picture up full mass. Let me address this head on, because I see the social media threads and commentary about this being an elderly man. Why would anyone want him to die in prison? He could have made an elderly person's mistake. So let me address all of those up front. Andrew D. Lester attempted to kill a 16-year-old child. I don't give a damn what he's charged with. Anytime you put bullets inside of a baby's body, you are trying to kill that child. Andrew Lester is 84 years of age. He has been charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action, not attempted murder. He remains under bond supervision. No date has been set for his prelim hearing. If found guilty, the maximum he can get, the maximum sentence of life in prison on the assault charge and 3 to 15 years, 3 years to 15 years on the gun charge. Now, he is elderly. The reason why I do not give a damn about his age is because of this picture right here.
And I'm going to pause that picture, pause it on this picture right here, because, see, I agree wholeheartedly with our brother, Dr. Richie. I know this young brother is African. I know his parents are not of our tribe. But see, let me say something to the continental African immigrants that are over here. All immigrants, Caribbean and continental African, those of you who are black immigrants, all of you should be raising holy hell that Andrew Lester's old demonic ass be charged with attempted murder. And not only that, that old son of a bitch should be locked up until his court date. Look at this young brother right here. See, for me, even though this young brother is not of our lineage, this is still a black child. If this picture moves me in certain ways that I can't really enunciate on YouTube without this channel being terminated, it should definitely move those who are directly connected to his lineage. And we've seen the behavior of his family. A lot of off-code behavior going on there with the immediate family, but I'm going to tell you right now, whoever you are in his family that's on code and you care about this boy, you should be leading the charge to do the right thing and get them charges where they're supposed to be. That's attempted murder. Had this been done to anybody else, especially if a black person did it to a white person, especially a child, there's no way in hell you would not be charged with attempted murder. I'm going to say it like I said in the last broadcast when I addressed this. You got to get your house in order, my black immigrant family. Has anybody in this chat room seen some of the responses from the continental African American community over here? Correct me if I'm wrong. Point it out to me if it's something that I miss. Have any of you in this chat room seen them raising hell about this situation? Has anybody? I want to see, because see, if there are people raising hell about it, I would like to know. But see, again, things like this cannot fall on the women of the particular community that it happens to. The men must be out front with the loudest voices first. That is the greatest show of strength. Salute to all our sisters that will raise their voices to produce justice. But it says something when the men stand up, because that is our primary responsibility. And I'm saying this to the continental African brothers and sisters. This is your primary responsibility. Now, if you don't care and your biggest concern over here is chasing a white woman, okay. Let me tell you what's going to happen to you. And this isn't my opinion. You can look at history and verify this. When any group of men refuses to take it upon themselves to carry out their natural and primary function of protecting their tribe, you are punished by your ancestors for that. Say it again. When any group of men in history has ever neglected to protect their tribe as their primary natural responsibility is, you punished by your ancestors for that. You don't have to believe me. You're probably laughing at what I'm saying if you're a member of that community. It's not your kid. And then some of them will even start the foolishness, well, he not my tribe. Okay, all right. See, I'm going to tell you something. You keep looking at foundational Black Americans over here for the tether class, not all Black immigrants. And you keep telling us what we need to do and what we shouldn't do and what we don't deserve. They're going to wipe you out first. You are over here in fewer numbers than us. And then you keep walking into danger because, again, I'm not faulting young Ralph Yarl here. Not faulting that young brother. I blame his parents for not educating him on the dangers of going into that all-white community and knocking on people's doors. And they probably told him, we've all heard it, you're not like them, you different. And he probably really believed that. This is a child that needs to be trained. So he's believing what the parents taught him. And unfortunately, it almost cost his young brother his life. And I'm wishing him a speedy recovery because he's going to have a long way to go. I said it before, I said it again. I don't wish that on anybody's child. But my primary message here is, you men of that community, I've been looking. I've been trying to see. I don't see anybody making the noise that should be being made. And like I said, I want my audience to correct me if I'm wrong about that. Bring it to my attention. Hell, I would like to get in contact with somebody that's trying to raise some hell about it. Because see, at the end of the day, those of us in New Black Media over here, we waiting on the family to get on code. If they're going to be all code, we're not going to raise all kinds of hell. Sitting up there with Benjamin Crump and Lee Merritt, and nobody's talking about punishment. The only thing you worried about is settlement. I'm going to ask the question like I did on the last broadcast where I covered this. If your child's life can be bought with money, do you really value your child at all? Just stop and let that sink in. I'm speaking directly to the tether class. Is that really the depths that your honor has been sunk to the point where you can be bought off? Hell, he lives long, we're going to get a bag out of it. Okay. And I already showed y'all exactly I believe who was behind the fundraiser. I don't even think it's the aunt. I believe Ozaddy put up to that because they know that, unfortunately, you can get a bag off the bodies of Black men in this country, young Black boys and children. So I could be wrong, but I doubt it because I just keep seeing the same shades of what I showed you in that previous broadcast where I covered this. It's reminding me of how Bosman John's family, or at least the brother, was acting when that trial was going on. One of the most despicable things I've ever seen in my life. But I'm going to let Dr. Rashard Richey get back to covering this because I thought this very interesting. I want to bring it to my audience's attention over here. In case you hadn't heard of this, this is what's going on with it now. Like I said, the old bastard is free. Okay, they not charging him with attempted murder yet. And it's just, like I said, it's going to be up to those of them and their community on the grassroots to make the noise that it needs to be made to make sure justice is produced. I'm going to let it continue.
Because he didn't give a damn about his age. Okay? Lester is accused of shooting a 16-year-old child, Ralph Yarl, on Thursday night after the teen accidentally went to the wrong house to pick up his siblings, being dutiful, being responsible. being a young man. Lester came to the door, shot the 16-year-old in the head. Why is that not attempted murder? That's called the kill zone, red area. Then he shot him again. No words were exchanged before the shooting. Ralph Yarl is now back home recovering with his family. His grandson was interviewed about his background. Here it is.
The prosecutor in this case has suggested that there was a racial component to it. Do you believe your grandfather is racist?
I believe he holds racist tendencies and beliefs. I feel like a lot of people of that generation are caught up in this 24-hour news cycle of fear and paranoia perpetuated by some other news stations. And he was fully into that, sit and watch Fox News all day, every day, blaring in his living room. And I think that stuff really kind of reinforces this negative view of minority groups and leads people to be a little, doesn't necessarily lead people to be racist, but it reinforces and galvanizes racist people and their beliefs.
According to The Sun, this grandfather was radicalized by Fox News, already likely had existing racist behavior, tendencies, beliefs, biases, but radicalized. Something happened, according to grandson. Now, let me say this to be very clear. It took the national community in order to get the arrest effected here, because initially they gave the would-be killer, the attempted killer, the man who tried to kill the 16-year-old, they gave him a courtesy ride to the police precinct and then put him on a 24-hour hold, let him go, even though they had the evidence to keep him. You can charge him with putting a minor in danger, okay? Reckless endangerment of a minor. You can do that just to keep him at the jail. They did not. They chose to not charge him until the winds of the public got involved. Once the public got involved, he all of a sudden has charges, not the ones he should. And then the police chief during the press conference says, we can't talk about the investigation because it would compromise the integrity of the investigation. But then she makes a remark about this not being racially motivated. No evidence that this is racially motivated or has a racial component. She said this during the same press conference where she said she can't comment on certain things because it would compromise the integrity of the investigation. And then she decided to compromise the integrity of the investigation by saying no racial component according to their investigation thus far. That's problematic because now the prosecutor has had to make a public statement saying there seems to be a racial component. And in the rules of evidence, her statement, because she is an investigator, her statement may be used to provide a legal defense so that this attempted murderer will not be charged with a hate crime. All right.
So now you heard what Dr. Ritchie said. You heard the statements of the grandson of that demonic piece of shit, Andrew Lester. And I salute to my first sergeant. I agree with you. He said more than the family of Ralph Yarl was saying. Okay, so I will give his grandson credit for that. But see, I want to take a minute to deal with something that was addressed here by Dr. Rashard Ritchie. I'm not giving them a pass on that where they was radicalized by Fox News or anything else. No. That old motherfucker, like I said, I would not be surprised if there are photos that popped up where he was a child at some lynching of one of our ancestors. Nah, you already had that in you. No, nothing radicalized you. I wouldn't even agree with that. That's the one thing I would disagree with. Okay, I understand why he made the point, but no. And see, again, to the men of the continental African American immigrant community, you need to be pushing for everything that I stated earlier. You need to be out there demanding that he be locked up because, see, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have no sympathy for him, Carolyn Dunham Bryant. I want her old ass prosecuted and locked up too. I ain't going to forget about that because, see, it's been too many young black children here on this soil, our homeland, that have been unjustly murdered And the killer just got off scot-free during the Jim Crow era and on before that. So for those of you that are black immigrants over here, just because you don't share our history with that, question I must ask you again, where is your backbone when it comes to standing up for the children of your community that do not have a voice where they can defend themselves, nor should they have to defend themselves when there are men present? See, I always put it back to the doorstep of the men of the community. It's not supposed to be women out there doing prison. No, where your men at? Where y'all at, man? Because, see, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it one more time. If you sit here and remain quiet on this, you think that you just keeping your head down so you can stay over here and keep your citizenship or whatever, they're going to have open season on your ass. And see, we're making it clear over here as Foundation of Black Americans. We love our own code, brothers and sisters that are black immigrants. But you who are all code in that tether class, don't look for us to come help you if you're not going to even fight for yourself. That's the height of dishonor and cowardice when you don't fight for your children. That makes no sense. Again, anybody in my audience, correct me if I'm wrong, if there are people making noise about this and I'm just not aware of it. I would like to know. I've been looking, trying to find something. If you are a continental African person over there, to be honest with you, hell, if you're a Caribbean brother and sister, this is the time for y'all to come together. Look, let me put it out here like this. Y'all come together as Caribbean immigrants, the tether class, and continental African immigrants, the tether class of you. Y'all come together to get in Foundation of Black American business, but you're not going to come together to defend a child of your community? Oh, yeah, I'm putting it out there like that. See, when you think about that, that goes to show that you got your priorities all misconstrued and backwards. The enemy, as I stated in the opening of this broadcast, is white supremacy. You can ignore it, but it will not ignore you. And when it starts to focus on your children, the end is soon in sight for those that don't fight back against that. I want y'all to listen to the rest of what Dr. Rashard Ritchie got to say on this incident here, because, see, when I heard about this, I'm sitting here like, okay, where are the people in their community demanding that his ass have to sit in jail until the trial? That's where that damn danger and demon to the community belongs. He don't belong walking around free with his little hunchback ass. And see, notice they always try to pretend like they so helpless and so feeble and so innocent when they have to face consequences. I'm going to say it again, black immigrant brothers and sisters. To the men of your community, this is on you if you don't raise the hell necessary to make sure that justice is served. Because he charged, don't mean he gonna get convicted. I wouldn't be surprised if some type of deal is cut or some type of loophole, because we seen them. They tried it. They tried it over here when it came to our brother Ahmaud Arbery. But his parents were on code and they were like, no, ain't gonna be no deals. Lock these motherfuckers up where they belong, in a cage for life. Y'all better take a page from my book on that. Let's let Dr. Rashard Ritchie continue with his report.
David, thoughts on this?
I mean, this is disgusting on so many levels. I mean, I would take it a step further in terms of Fox News, not just radicalizing this man, this older man, but I think Fox News has not only radicalized a lot of people, they have radicalized gun owners, they have radicalized white supremacists, they have radicalized police who will see African Americans as somehow dangerous and therefore give a pass to somebody like this. Fox has trafficked in fear. And when you traffic in fear and you create an entire society that is fearful of people who are different from you, this kind of thing happens. And it's not just one person. It's not just one shooting. I'd say there's so many different levels of our society that have been poisoned by Fox News, poisoned by a channel that traffics in fear.
Yep.
Now, see, here's why I take issue with what this white reporter, and I don't know his name. Like I said, I didn't even take the time to find out. But see, this is where I take issue with what he just said. Don't say Fox News or any organization traffics in fear. Call the shit what it is. White supremacy. That's what it is. And salute to my first sergeant, some chick named Star. Thank you for that generous donation, my good sister. Oh, I see my brother, Sincere Love to God in the house, man. Hey, salute to this brother right here, man. Listen. If y'all are not subscribed to that brother's channel, you're missing out on some quality content, man. That brother has a ton of black-owned businesses over there that have quality products to support. If you're not familiar with my brother's content, go over there and subscribe to his channel. My brother Sincere Love to God in the chat room. And he's also a very talented musician. Go check that brother's work out, man. Like I said, if you like my content, you're going to love his content. But family, when it comes to this reporting style right here, where they take out the word white supremacy and ignorance, fear, all that. No, see, that's dangerous to us. That's dangerous. See, white folks, I'm talking to y'all again. If you gonna be an ally to us, you can't tap dance around the issue. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't clean it up. This shit is ugly, just like the history of America that they're trying to take out these schools. Put it on the table for what it is. Because, see, that way you have to deal with the real issues and the problems. When you start changing white supremacy to other words like fear and ignorance, you're not really going to be able to deal with the real threat. That allows them to remain hidden. Now, do I believe that was his intention? I don't think so, but I'm making the statement nonetheless. You can't go to the left nor right. You have to go straight up the middle when you calling this out. Fox News and others traffic in white supremacy. So does CNN. So does CNN. Let's be clear. I don't want nobody coming over here thinking that, well, he's a liberal, because, you know, you got some of these goofy buck dancing coons and some of these ignorant alabasters and alabastresses that'll come over here thinking that, okay, if you criticizing the right, that means that you on the left. Fuck both of them. They're both white supremacist entities, and I'm not for either one. Just making that clear. But see, family, not only do you have to call them out when they attempt to do this, okay, the white folks in the dominant society, you have to make sure your children understand that you don't call anti-black racism and white supremacy by other names either, especially the teenage children. No, you call it what it is. It's not stupidity. It's not ignorance. It's not fear. It is white supremacy. That's it. Keep the focus on where it belongs, because that's how they've been able to get away with it so long. People ignoring the problem and calling it other things, and that allows them to thrive. Because, see, unfortunately, they cannot practice what they do without the help of people in our community. That's the sad thing we got to acknowledge. When you look at the Sam Bozos and the Congressional Black Caucus, have they spoken out on this? Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't heard them say anything about the young brother Ralph Yarl, and it should be particularly egregious on their part, because as we know, most of them are black immigrants. Where you at, Sheila Jackson Lee and all the rest of you? Are you making noise? They got so much full-throated vim and vigor for every other group except for black people, even other black immigrants. That is a damn shame. Correct me if they've said something, because I've been looking and I hadn't seen it. Maybe they've come out with some here recently and I just missed it. So my point is this. When it comes to dealing with these threats, we have to deal with them as they are. And I'm going to say it one more time. You can like it or not like it. Those of you in the black immigrant community that are off code, you better get your house in order.
There it is.
If you want reparations, I'm fully okay with funding your reparations. I think this would be great. This would be.
And see, now that that report has come to an end, I want you to check this out. Y'all knew I was going to mention this. This bastard right here, who from what I understand is a Jamaican immigrant. Listen to how much focus he got on our reparations issue. Why he don't have that focus on what happened to Ralph Yarl? Why he don't have that focus on that? I know y'all heard it, but I'm going to let it play, because, see, he got all these brilliant solutions for us. I'm going to address this shit in just a minute. Let me let this continue.
You got great reparations. Reparations will be a one-way ticket. You're banned from the country. You cannot come back. Don't try to say you're going to take this ticket and make a vacation and come back. I will put whatever donation I can to have you take a one-way ticket to whatever the hell else country you want to go to, and you never come back. That's the reparations I can give you. If this country's so bad, we've got it solved. I think.
Salute to my brother, Sincere Love, the guy for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother. So let me go ahead and interject on this Sam Bozo right here with this damn MAGA sweatshirt on. See, these Sam Bozos and Sam Bits in that immigrant class, the tether class, never learned. What happened to Herman Cain? You remember that? And I'm not disparaging or mocking the dead, but we saw what happened. When Herman Cain was living, he took his ass out there to that damn Trump rally with all them infected alabaster people. Elderly man already had health issues, but you trying to prove your coon loyalty to them folks out there, and what ended up happening to him. Now you see these immigrants like this clown over here focus on our reparations, but you don't say nothing about what happened to your people in here, because, see, let's be clear. It's been several stories that have happened to their people in the last few months. He ain't got nothing to say about that. So now, addressing him directly, because I don't even know this little punk's name. because it's not even important, because history won't remember his name either. But see, I'm addressing him and everybody else that sounds like him. First of all, you can't offer no solution to those of us who are foundational Black Americans about what we should do with our situation in our country that we have not fled. I'm going to say this yet again. I've said it many times. I know I ruffle feathers when I say it. But if you are in that Black immigrant class and you a tether, you really don't have the authority, nor have you earned the right to speak amongst other men who are foundational Black Americans talking about what we should do with our situation. You got to earn that. And you can't earn it by running away from your homeland, never going back. And then on top of that, the most egregious and disrespectful thing to the people of your own lineage, because he's a disgrace to real Jamaicans that are on code. And shout out to them brothers, because I know plenty of them that are on code. And they ain't nothing like this bastard. But I'm calling this tether class member of the Jamaicans out. You are a disgrace to your people back where you from, because at least if you're going to be over here, you should be the biggest advocate pushing for things to go right for your people over there in Jamaica. You should be on reparations for your people that the British owe them. See, instead of you focusing on us talking about what we shouldn't get, how about you get down there and be the biggest representative of CARICOM? You see what I'm saying? See, these are the things too that I want our own code Black immigrant brothers and sisters to start taking them to task on. Go ahead and ask, be like, okay, man, you worried about the foundation of Black Americans. Let's put them to the side for a minute. Okay, you don't like them. Fine, no problem. We don't give a shit if you don't like us. What about our people? Why we don't hear you pushing CARICOM? See, you got things back home that you need to be focused on. How you gonna have the audacity to look at other men that didn't leave their house? You left yours, and you gonna try to tell me how to conduct business in mine? Have you lost your damn mind? You see what I'm saying, family? See, that pisses me off when I see them do that. But see, we're in a beautiful time right now, because we're going to check that shit every time you attempt to mention that. See, a lot of people are kid gloves when it comes to addressing that. Not me. You hear what I tell you. I'm like, you're not even a man. You ain't home. You ran. You have no authority to address me about a goddamn thing, nor any member of my tribe. You basically a kid that's an orphan eating off of the plate of people that took you in. That's where I stand on that. But hey, you know what? He got more to tell us. Let's hear him.
I've solved reparations, everybody. Let them know. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Sheila Lee, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Katie Porter. Somebody wake up Dianne Feinstein. Nancy P. Wake her up too. Tell her to put down the bottle. I solved reparations. You get a one-way boat ticket, taxi. You get a one-way Uber. You get a one-way plane ticket, boat ticket to get the hell up out of here and never come back. And this country would be so much better off for it.
So you heard little old Hoppin' Bob, little old cocoa bread Hoppin' Bob there. Salute to my brother Project Leroy for the cash out. So here's my closing remarks on this clown, right? Because a lot of y'all asked me, did I see it? Yeah, I saw him. Here's my closing remarks to that clown. How about what happens the day that these white folks get tired of you and they send you on a one-way ticket back to your homeland? I'm going to tell you, you better hope that day never comes, because, see, they will be begging, pleading, bending on hands and knees, groveling, begging that they not get deported. See, I've seen some of them in situations like that. I'm not punching down. I'm just saying that it would be one of the most embarrassing things ever, because, see, some of them, they've run over here and they keep acting like they're proud of their homeland. But I'm going to say it again. You can't simultaneously be proud of who you are and where you're from, never want to go back at all. How does that work? That is the height of schizophrenia. That's insane. You can't be. Again, get your mind on CARICOM and getting your people reparations. If you're going to speak up about something, speak up about Ralph Yarl. That's what you better be focused on. You have no authority to speak on us. So now I saw this too. Many of you have asked me about this. I'm going to address it. Now, I'm doing it for a reason, because it fits in with what I'm talking about. Because, again, even before she started talking, we're going to play it. Why isn't her focus on what just happened to Ralph Yarl? The entire Black immigrant community needs to be riding together on that. as one demanding that the right thing be done and those charges be upgraded to attempted murder and his old ass be locked up until that trial start. But yet they got so much time to focus on what we doing. I'm gonna play what she's saying, and I'm gonna point out certain things that I have issue with here because I saw some confusion about it on my Twitter. You know me, I stay pissing people off on Twitter. Ask me if I care. I'm gonna let this play, and then I'm gonna make something crystal clear over here where everybody can hear the sound of my voice and not just see me typing.
So I'm gonna say something that's very controversial right now. The Democratic Party has no plans to pay reparations. Now, if you're conservative, just move out of this conversation. Does this just, you already have your stance on it. Everybody knows what your stance is, right? You don't need to even speak on this subject.
You don't need to speak on it either. Cause see, let me be petty and work backwards here. First thing she needs to speak on is that gap in between your mouth. You need to fix. See, why do you ever notice this, family? Why do all of them that jump in our business have that little jukebox quarter slide gap in their mouth? I'm telling you, boy, the next one on my see, I'm gonna reach in my pocket and pull out some change, and I'm gonna put a quarter in the middle of that gap and see what kind of song I can get them to play. Oh yeah, I went there with it. Goddamn it, you need to fix them damn teeth. But I digress. Let me explain something to the class of women, and particularly. And I'm a man saying it, and I'm gonna try to be as gentle as I can with that, because the women should be addressing it, but I'm gonna say it. Ma'am, those of you who are tether class women, the reason why you sound like you do, talking about what the Democrats are not gonna do, or anybody, first and foremost, we're not relying on either political party to do a goddamn thing for us because they want to. Our history as foundational Black Americans has been one that have seen us force them to do the right thing. That's number one. Number two, for you to have this broken-minded spirit that she's going to exhibit here when I let the rest of this play, that too is a failure of your men not to stand up so that you have an example to follow. See, when women, look, let me go ahead and put it out there. The reason why foundational Black American women are so combative as the way that as some of them can be, and they seem to come across the way they do, because hell, the men are that way. We stand up. We're not punks and cowards. And women do take after their men. So I understand where the sisters get it from. Now, do I want that directed in the wrong directions? No. If they can channel that towards where it needs to be, hey, I'm all for it. Give them as much hell as you want when it comes to dismantling the system of racism and white supremacy. But see, when it comes to women like this in that tether class, when they used to looking around and it's problems that need to be solved, and the men scatter like roaches when the lights come on, this is how they end up sounding. See, this is why you start early training your young men that one day you're going to have to be a leader too, son, because you are the next protectors of the next generation coming. If you don't do that, you get women sounding like this, thinking that we just waiting around for them to do the right thing. I don't know why they think that way. See, what it is, they project their mindsets onto us. No, ma'am. We are not begging or waiting on anybody to do anything. We are actively forcing these people's hands, and we will continue to do so until that check is cut, because they're going to pay those reparations. We've already made progress in places like California, and it's going to keep on going across the nation, where the goal is to get it on the federal level. See, when it's time to do work and you're not from a fleeing class of people, you don't look at the task and just sit down. There's too much work to do. You roll up your damn sleeves and you get busy. That's what we do. That's the tradition we come from. But hey, I'm gonna let her continue, because I got some more I got to address with this statement she made here.
But it's so important for the Black community to understand and know that the Democratic Party has no intentions, never had intentions of paying reparations. This has been a carrot that has been stringing along the entire time. You have to understand, they're siphoning energy from you. They need you to be angry. They need you not to heal. They need you not to do better.
Let me go ahead and get her again here. So, okay, this needs you not to do better. First of all, the other thing that I should have addressed from the start, apparently she's one of those immigrant Black conservatives. Let me tell y'all something about that. Those of you in the tether class that hop your ass over here to them conservatives. And let's go ahead and call out the main two culprits of cultivating them and recruiting them. Turning Points USA and PragerU. I wouldn't be surprised if some digging was done on her and she's connected to one, if not both, of those organizations, because they go and recruit them and they drag their asses over here and they start pointing their finger at us talking about doing better. Ma'am, again, You can't tell us about doing better because the men of your community failed to the point that you had to flee your little bad, dry wig having ass over here. Okay? Yes, you don't have the authority to do that. That's see, you got to understand, you got to earn the right to speak on our people this way. How you going to, let's just make it even more simple. How are you going to instruct us on what to do in our homeland when you can't get it together where you from? We got to make sure they understand how asinine they sound when they do that. The only thing we need to hear from you is support or shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I got to say it like it is. See, this weak mindset, stop projecting that on us. Look around. Do we move like that? You can tell we don't move like your people. See, when something happens to us over here, we get on code and we form Voltron on these motherfuckers. That's why they tell you that you better than us, because it's easy for them to disrespect you. They know they get out of line with us, they're going to get the shit slapped out of them on the low end of it, okay? Yeah, see, man, y'all got to start giving them a hard check when they start doing this. Let's let it continue, though.
They need you to continue to be upset. Why? Because they can weaponize you. They can weaponize you against the culture. They can weaponize you against America. They can weaponize you against society. But look how much they care about you. They care about you so much that your own supposedly black vice president goes to Africa with.
First of all, we don't consider Kamala Harris black. Who told you that? She's Asian, like she told us she was. No, y'all was running around here calling her black. And look at her eyes bucking while she talk with that little gap in her mouth. See, I'm trying not to go there, but see, oh my God. They don't understand that even in their basic appearance, they can't get it together to be talking to us. Yeah, I'm going there with it. And this whole thing, like you talking to us, when you come over here to a place where you're not even a native, you don't know what the hell is going on, and you going to come over here and spend a few years or a few months, and now you be like, oh, they just don't realize this. See, they talk to us like we kids, like we don't know what's going on in our homeland. The first thing that lets you know that you confused, and I included a screenshot of the book early in the broadcast, you need to go pick up Nearly Full of Junior's work and understand how the system of white supremacy works here in America. That's the first thing. If you don't understand that, you ain't got nothing to teach or tell us, lady. You see what I'm saying? See, she's sitting up here, done bought all that damn, like I guarantee she probably got a zaddy somewhere, because see, most of their women, when they get in line with that conservative shit, zaddy ain't far behind. They done pumped their head with all of that and told them how much we don't know, this, that, the third. Yet you got situations like Lil Ralph Yarl, 16 years old, being shot by white supremacists just because he answered the door. Did you notice they don't ever bring that up to their zaddies too? Because I know she attached to one. We just hadn't seen him yet. I bet he there. I wouldn't be surprised if it pop up. I'm going to let her continue babbling because it's more to break down with what she's saying.
She advocating for you, Black America? Was she building a bridge so that you guys can now have a relationship? The African American community here can be representatives of America in Africa and build a bridge to do that and bring some kind of healing and restoration considering the past of America? Is that what she did? No. Guess who she went there? Who was she speaking about? The LGBTQ agenda. Does that make sense to you, Black America? I need you to understand that the Democratic Party has no intentions of ever helping Black America.
I need you to understand that we have sense enough to see that, and everything you saying, we've been calling out. See, what is this attitude where they think they know so much more than us about our situation? It makes no sense. You trying to preach to the choir of a people that's been calling that out. And then you turn around as if you got some type of insider knowledge that we don't have. We know what the fuck is going on. Why do you think we calling for these reparations? But see, let me show y'all something that a lot of people probably missed about this clip right here. The reason why she's scared and nervous and they all got their nose in this reparations thing. Oh boy, they nervous now because they already know that what that's going to mean when we get our situation squared away with that. They shouldn't be afraid though, because that would lay the blueprint for them to have to pick up and go in and do the own thing that they need to do in their country so they can get reparations like they're supposed to. I want to see that happen. But see, they know that that's going to mean no more riding the umbilical cord. It's time for you to pull your own weight. They know that. It's pathetic and sad. But again, like I say, for her to get this way, I got to look at the men in her community. How does she develop that mindset if she's around strong men that are building and coming up with solutions to their people's problem? Let's let her continue.
And if I am wrong, prove me wrong by getting your help. Don't let them leave that office without helping you.
This is
In closing on that clip, woman, whatever her name is, of course we're not going to let them do a damn thing. We don't care who's in that damn office. See, they get it confused when they start that left and right bullshit. We're not looking at left and right. We're looking at whoever in the damn seat. The check is going to get cut. That's how we see it. So I need for those of you that are in the Tetherwinds class to get that in your head. You're not educating on this on nothing that we don't already know and not actively doing out here on the grassroots. Your focus needs to be on Ralph Yarl right now and many other things, but start there. That's where you need to start. Because see, this story that I'm about to bring you right here, it's an update on something that really strikes a chord with us to this day, because I will not forget our sister Breonna Taylor. I'm going to let y'all hear something. I don't know how many of you know this yet, but like I said, salute to the brother, Dr. Rashard Ritchie. He does an excellent job of reporting on these types of stories. I want y'all to hear what happened to one of these murdering race soldiers, or what he was allowed to do. I'm going to let this play.
Why there's such a separation between cops and community. The officer who shot Breonna Taylor gets rehired at a police department basically down the street. Let's put up the pictures. Okay. Former Metro police officer Miles Carsgrove, the cop responsible for firing the bullet that killed Breonna Taylor in a Kentucky raid, now works just 1 hour away at the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. So this former Louisville Metro police officer, Miles Carsgrove, along with 2 others, was fired in 2021 after Taylor's killing in 2020. But he was never convicted, despite damning video and witness accounts. A 4th officer was allowed to retire after the shooting. So Thursday marked the start of his new job. Chief Deputy Rob Miller says, and I quote, "There will be opinions on both sides of the equation, but ultimately we're going to give him a chance." Well, isn't that so nice of you? Okay, so you hire a guy, you pay him taxpayer dollars. Let's keep the chief up. You give him taxpayer dollars, and your community should believe they are safer, even though he wrongfully killed a citizen. Okay? He was fired for violating police protocol. But you're going to give him a chance. Give him a chance to do what, Chief? Oh, kill another black person. Okay, I got you. So that's the chance you're giving him? Another opportunity, another crack at it? He says, we think he will help reduce the flow of drugs. That's what they said is the reasoning. We think he will help reduce the flow of drugs in our area and reduce property crimes. Miller, who has previously been accused of using excessive force on the job, told the Journal this. We felt like he was a good candidate to help us in our county. Now, to the people of your local jurisdiction, you should be in charge. Now, if you are like this officer, governing your streets, patrolling your communities, say nothing. But if you find it to be quite disrespectful that they would plant a person like this in your community, say something.
I'm going to add to what the good brother Dr. Ritchie said about that. He's absolutely right, because see, let me tell y'all something. When it comes to where my money is spent, I'm going to have a voice and a say so. If they put these bastards in our community, because we know they don't fire them, they just transfer them. One of the things I've been saying is for years now that needs to happen with these damn race soldiers. You have to start demanding that their peace officer certification, their post certification is permanently revoked, and they can't even go work as a goddamn security guard for a fucking grocery store or the post office. Nowhere. Once they do something like they did to our sister Breonna Taylor here, they murdered this sister in her home, in her sleep, and she didn't even have clothes on. demand that that damn post certification is revoked. You're going to have to start doing that. Like the brother said, if you okay with it, okay, don't say nothing. But if you don't want a murdering race soldier roaming your streets, looking to kill other black people, you better start taking action now. Start taking action now. And you can do it when you come together and you own code. See, that's what our people focus on. We don't sit there and look the other way on things like this. No, we come together and we raise hell until justice is produced. And see, I got to say something here. I know it's not all, because I like to make sure I'm clear that I'm addressing the tether class when I speak this way with what I'm about to say next. A lot of times, many in that community won't do it because that involves hard work. And if the white people say no, then you just tuck your tail and go home. We don't rock like that over here. Just like we want Carolyn Bryant's old ass locked up for the murder of Emmett Till. I'm going to tell you something. One thing that I respect, that I'm glad to see we're taking a page from now, is from the Jewish community. Look at how they catch them Nazis abroad. They don't care if they're 90-something years old. They be like, yep, okay, you 90-something, but you finna spend your last few years in this damn cell because you was a part of the Holocaust of our people. When it comes to our ongoing Holocaust, we can have no less than the same mind frame. And I posit to the black immigrant community, you better adopt that nature also, because they're targeting you while you're here. There is no safe place to hide from white supremacy when you're here in this system. So my suggestion when it comes to this, we're going to have to start calling for them post certifications to be permanently revoked. You get caught, any type of police brutality, anything that's racial, okay, and definitely if you kill some black person unjustly, no, you done with that. This is what we got to start pushing for. But I want y'all to hear the rest of this report our brother Dr. Rashard Rich is going to give here.
There's more. Let's put up the picture. Okay. Taylor, Breonna Taylor, was a 26-year-old black woman employed as an emergency room tech, lived with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. He and Taylor were in the bed on March 13th, 2020, when officers, through a no-knock warrant, raided their apartment, the wrong apartment. Walker fired at police, thinking they were intruding. He's trying to protect him and his baby. The police unleashed 32 gunshots. Those 32 gunshots, 16 of them came from the gun of Cosgrove. Miss Taylor was struck by the bullets 5 times. One of the officers, Kelly Goodlett, she pleaded guilty to a federal conspiracy charge for falsifying the no-knock warrant with another officer, meaning law enforcement never should have been at Miss Taylor's home or Mr. Walker's residence at all. Now protests over the news that Cosgrove was hired at another station is scheduled to occur on Monday, according to WHAS 11. We will bring you updates as it comes. This makes absolutely no sense. When you mess up at your job, mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. We all are prone to making mistakes. We're human. But when you have a willful disregard for protocol, law, safety, and those you serve, when you are shown to be that negligent or that problematic because of your own malfeasance, why would you ever believe you should work with this level of public trust again? Why would anyone believe you should be hired at their police department? There you have it. You want to know why people get upset about police in this country? It's because of moves like this. How dare you disrespect the death of this black woman who should be alive, and her family and the communities that support her all across this nation and beyond. My dear brother, thoughts here?
Dr. Ritchie, when I first heard that Cosgrove had been rehired, I thought, no, this must be some sort of joke, right? Maybe it's April Fool's, somebody is just, the Onion or somebody like that. And then I come to find out, no, that this is really happening. And to me, it is beyond sickening, because there's been so much talk about, well, let's establish a national database so that dirty cops who use excessive force, cops who not be on the force, that they cannot get rehired. And in this case, it's as if, well, it doesn't even matter if there was this sort of database, because this community would have hired him anyway. It is ridiculous. Shame on that community. Shame on the police force. And I guarantee there are going to be more problems as a result of this. I wouldn't be surprised me if there's more excessive force cases, if the community gets sued the first time this guy does anything wrong. I mean, this is another catastrophe waiting to happen.
Yep. We will bring you the update when it does.
And there you have it, family. I saved that for the end of the broadcast tonight as a reminder that when these things happen to our people, even if justice is not served in the outset of it, it's things that we must never let go. We must always bring these things up every chance we get and make sure that we keep that at the forefront, because see, when people are taken from our tribe, our community, and they're not able to speak for themselves, we become their voices. Primarily, as the main part of the broadcast was detailing when it comes to our children. I'm going to say this one more time. To those of you in that Black immigrant community that's quiet while this young brother Ralph Yarl is recovering, if you are a man, you should be ashamed to look at yourself in the mirror. You're supposed to be out there demanding that the right thing be done, because see, if you don't speak up for your community, nobody else will. You better take a page out of foundational Black American history and see what we do when we're wrong. We don't sit here and just put our heads in our hands when the white folks say they're not going to do the right thing. You make them do the right thing. Take care of yourselves out here, family. Protect Black children by any means necessary. Make sure that you stay on code. Make sure that you are focused on the things that you need to be focused on. And make sure that every day that you wake up, no matter what it is that you do, get with like-minded people and go out of your way to produce justice for our people. With that said, salute to everybody. Take care of yourselves. Black first. I will see you all in future content.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tariq Nasheed, and I'm inviting you to the Foundational Black American Expo going down May 27th, 2023, right here in the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas. This is an event you don't want to miss. It's going down at the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, and this is an empowerment event that you can invite the whole family to. We're going to have seminars and workshops that discuss things like business development, education, health and wellness, self-defense, and some of you businesses out there, we have vending opportunities where you can promote your businesses. Plus, we're gonna have so many phenomenal speakers and guests. We got people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who's coming down, Professor James Small, Sister Vicky Dillard, Riza Islam, Dr. Kaba Kamene, Ben X, Tahuti Mayad Ra, Erica Lachey, Red Pill, Blue Pill, so many people. So yo, get your tickets now at FBAexpo.com. That's FBAexpo.com. We will see you here.